Okay, welcome back. You're watching Markets at Noon on ET Now. A company and a stock in focus is Mastek. Reason being, it's seen some marquee investors essentially check into the stock. Abacus Growth Fund, in fact, through its fund schemes, is said to have, increased their shareholding to up to 5.9% of the paid-up capital of the company. They recently acquired another close to 1% in the company. So let's talk about what's going on with the company, what sort of recovery has it made, which is the segments that are recovering, and how much of a risk factor still is the coronavirus. We have with us Owen, the Group CEO of Mastek Limited. Mr. Owen, thank you so much for joining us today on ET Now. Obviously the IT industry had taken a bit of a hit. You have a good amount of exposure to UK, but that has sort of recovered very smartly now. So what's it looking like now? I mean, we are almost 4-5 months now since the worst of the coronavirus had actually hit the world. What's it looking like now? Are those risk factors because of COVID largely behind you, or you're still facing that imminent threat of, there being some sort of a second wave or, another set of lockdown which will again hurt business?
I think, first of all, coronavirus hit everybody as a shock. I think a pandemic, nobody had sort of factored that into their business continuity planning. That being said, I think lots of people entered this process with this is going to be a short, V-shaped impact and the recovery would be quick and we'd get to sort of pre-COVID levels. And I think as it's gone on month, you can see the economic lockdown, you can see the health lockdown, it's going to be a lot more prolonged. So I think as an industry, it's going to be more profound than people thought when we entered this. That being said, I think IT will benefit because people are working from home. It's becoming more digital. So I think as an industry, we are insulated a little bit from the effects of COVID at a macroeconomic. Regarding Mastek, I think the reason we've been able to trade well and consistently well through Q1 going into Q2 is we have a nice exposure to some resilient markets. The UK government is obviously putting a lot more money in digitisation. How they're going to drive efficiency in their public services. And obviously, things like the furlough system and the economic stimulus has got to be funded from the public coffers. So that's where the UK and the public sector in the UK is benefiting. We're also benefiting, as you said in the introduction, from the acquisition of a company that really does focus on cloud. And I think that move from old legacy IT to next generation cloud is a benefit. So we're resilient both in markets, in geography, and resilient as in the segments we do. But IT generally should be doing well.
Sir, I also just wanted to understand, like we are saying that in the healthcare space, there will be an increased spend of GDP by everyone, which of course will benefit the pharma and the healthcare space. You of course work closely with BFSI, insurance companies, and especially companies that need a lot of security, a lot of data on the digital pack. Do you think that spend across the board, whether small, big company, across geographies, will tend to only increase from here on?
Yes, I think so, because we as a company, Mastek, now has 100% of its workforce working from home. We didn't design that when we started the organisation, so we responded incredibly well and we pivoted within about 2 to 3 weeks from essentially a 90% office-based delivery model to 100% remote working delivery model. And I don't think we'll go back to the office-based concentration. I think there'll be a hybrid in the middle. But yes, you're right, healthcare and remote working will all need more secure digital infrastructure. And so I think if you're a company like Mastek that's focused on next generation digital, it's good. If you're in the old legacy IT world, which is more about sort of hosting things, old applications, I think that's going to come under more pressure as capital has to get released for these new digital services, consumers talking to companies, consumers talking to consumers, business to business. That sort of digital economy will only grow, which means, yes, security, resilience, robustness, integration, those things that spin off that and will continue to enjoy favourable demand.
Sir, I also just wanted to understand, work from home is the new normal, digital. Digital spend, of course, is the new normal, as you pointed out. Just quickly, how important is the security thing that we are talking about? Do you think security enhancement across digital space is something which now everybody will spend on once again?
Have to. I mean, it's simply put, they have to, because although coronavirus is a huge sort of social impact and health impact, there are people that will use that to exploit the vulnerabilities of a non-secure digital platform. So yes, cyber criminal or cyber security will increase because the activity increases, because we're now more, we're more open. So there has to be more investment in cyber security. There has to be more focus on it, because we're now working in a digital economy where people are working remotely. And, I'll take the UK government as an example. 3 months ago, people went, a civil servant went to a government building, went into a government room, sat behind a government PC, turned on government applications, and it was all in a secure environment. Now those are doing the same work, but they're doing it from remote locations, which means you need to have cybersecurity on top.
For taking out time for us. All the best. Recently you've concluded a deal, of course, that was in Majesco, and of course with the entire mid-cap space increasing, even Mastek has seen a big change in the PE and the perception of the market, which has of course led to the stock price doing pretty well. That was the management explaining why need for IT will be important and only increase from here on. That's it as far as me and Mubina are concerned. 370 points higher for the Sensex. Nifty again continues to be strong. It's stock specific move that's happening in the market on the positive side, leaving you with Nifty up close to about 100 odd points.